Hey, what's happening? Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Daryl here. It's not even 3:30 a.m. It's 3:21 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. You guys, I don't even need to say it. You know what that means. It means I'm pretty fired up this morning again. Already. I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think this is just chance. I'm already seeing a proliferation of people hiding their bad intent under the title of free speech. What am I talking about? Let's do a thought experiment. Okay, I'm a creative guy. All right, well, I like magic, Chris Angel, Houdini, stuff like that. Okay, let's just say I start studying. Well, I'm already 56 years old. Say I started studying when I was younger, and I was a good magician by now. I was able to levitate like Chris Angel, high up, on the 8th floor or 10th floor or whatever he was on. If you ever watch Chris Angel, Mind Freak, or Houdini, in a water tank with a straitjacket, right? Basic tricks. Okay, see, I could do that right now. Stick with me here. But instead, so say I got on TV, and instead of putting the disclaimer on, like Chris Angel always puts a disclaimer, do not try this at home. Chris Angel is a magician. This is entertainment. Blah blah blah. You'll always see this before he does these tricks. And there's a lot more dangerous, incredibly dangerous stuff he does. Swallowing stuff under his skin, stuff through his body. What if, free speech, man, I go on TV and I say, I don't put the disclaimer on, right? And I do the trick, but I say, you can do this at home. If you believe in God, if you have the Spirit of God, you can do what I do. Now, I know that's not, in some, like I said yesterday, in some other alternate universe, in a multiverse, where there are infinite possibilities. Yeah, maybe that is true. There's let me use Elon Musk's phrase. There's a tiny possibility that somewhere in an alternate universe that's actually true, but in this universe it's not. What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? I don't have the disclaimer. Or just say Chris Angel does that. He no longer uses the disclaimers, and he goes on and says, if you believe in the power of God, you can try it at home. If you can't do this, you have the devil in you, right? Now he knows this isn't true, right? He's just doing this for views or for whatever. And sooner, of course, without a doubt, there's going to be, I guarantee there'll be hundreds, thousands of people, kids, people that don't have reasoning ability, religious zealots, are going to start, taking a step off an 8th floor ledge, and believing in God that they could, because they could do Chris Angel, right? It's my free speech, though. I shouldn't be able to get sued or anything. That's what I see right now. Okay, what am I talking about? Steve Bannon. I saw 2 examples. I went on Right Wing Watch this morning. Steve Bannon talking to the 2 black ladies, Diamond and Silk. Oh God, Diamond and Silk. All right, so he's talking about John Fetterman here. Okay, now this made me so angry. And he's saying that John Fetterman is basically a cyborg. I kept seeing the word. Listen to this word. You're going to be hearing this a lot more in the next coming days, coming weeks before 2024. Transhumanism. Ooh, that's going to be the new LGBTQ. That's going to be the new trans, because now they're all afraid of one trans. I didn't even think of that before. They both start, transgender, transhuman. Now they're not just switching. Now, according to Republicans, people aren't just switching sexes; they're switching into computers. Now, listen close. This is just flat out misinformation. And what ticks me off about this is it hurts disabled people. John Fetterman does not have any cognitive. I'll have links down below. There's some people that says he might have aphasia. He had a stroke. It affects it has nothing to do with his decision making. Has nothing to do with his intelligence. Any of that. It has to do with his speech, and it's more than that. His hearing. I was reading an article this morning that says the human brain starts processing speech. Like you start processing my speech before you even hear it by just seeing my motions and seeing my lips. There's visual cues. You're reading more, you're doing more than hearing it. You're seeing me. There's more to it. The links will be right down below. So Steve Bannon says that he didn't have the usual closed caption in front of him. This is what Steve Bannon said. The link will be, I'll put the link right down the top. No, this was a different kind of, Steve Bannon was connected to the machine. It was telling him what to say. He's actually a cyborg. It's transhumanism. Steve Bannon says he has his special transhuman correspondent in Pennsylvania to report on this, because people are becoming combined with computers. And somebody's programming the computers with satanic stuff, and it's telling John Fetterman what to say. He's not even human anymore. Seriously, man, I've watched this, and this isn't about free speech. I don't think for 1 second that Bannon believes one word of this. I think he wants to see another Trump America, and he's willing to do anything and lie about and say anything under the sun to get that to happen, to get anything to win. Absolutely anything to win. That's what I see. I don't believe for a second that Bannon believes this. And this is hurting disabled people. It's making disabled people look less than human, or even worse, satanic or some crap like that. Now, the next, and I could go on for another half hour about Steve Bannon, but there's another one that's even more bizarre. And these two are right next to each other on Right Wing Watch. Stephen Hatza, a right-wing religious preacher and doctor. Yeah, doctor. It doesn't say what kind of doctor. I don't know if we're talking, MBA, medical, or what. But I'm really. It gives the impression that he's a medical doctor. And what he's saying is just freaking bizarre. Again, transhumanism. Now this one really ticks me off, because it's got to do with yesterday's video, the pandemic. What I was talking about, how I got the 4 shots, the vaccines. Well, and these people are just this isn't about free speech. This is purposely about confusing people. Like I said about my relative, believing that the opposite is true. Believing that taking away women's rights over their own body is actually a Democrat thing. This is it's fooling people. So Steve Hatza, get this. He says that I'm pointing out disinformation here. This is not what I have, this is disinformation that I'm pointing out for the YouTube algorithms. That graphene oxide, supposedly, that's what's in these things. That's what somebody else is claiming here. Stephen Hatza. And combined, when that gets in you, combined with 5G, it takes over. It's mind control. It takes over your mind. You're beaming thoughts into your head. Yeah, the link is right down below. And he's saying this with all sincerity, that getting that what I just got a couple weeks ago, the newest vaccine, and he spins it like this. And what I see is, this isn't free speech. This is blatant lying. It's snake oil sales. It's even worse than that, because it's just blatant disinformation, lying to people. They're taking certain phrases. They're trusting on it. They're trusting that people don't know some words, and when he starts mentioning different stuff like graphene oxide and stuff like that, and he goes on about the singularity about computers and 5G and AI or IA all coming together into the singularity, and he takes some Star Trek phrases and he throws them in there, and it all sounds, and he's a doctor, so hey man, look, people believe this, and I end up losing people I love, like my girlfriend Audrey. This isn't free speech. This is blatantly just lying to people. I did a meme as soon as Elon Musk took over, and I put it on Twitter. I took a picture of Donald Trump staring up at the sun. I started thinking about that. So I had it looked like an actual post. It said, conservative Christians. And I started talking about staring into the sun. Don't be fooled. You should stare into the sun. This is a joke. This is sarcastic. This is a satire. That you should stare into the sun. Because when you stare up into the sun, now you take some medical phrases like rods and cones in your eyes and your retinas, and vitamin D. So if you stare into the sun, your rods and cones and your retinas actually soak in the vitamin D, and you are able to actually see the Spirit of God. And of course, Democrats, Satanists don't want you to know that. So you should, like Donald Trump, you should stare into the sun, because you will be able to see the actual Spirit of God. Now, I'll say it again, that is satire. What I just said, it's satire. It's not true. Nobody should stare into the sun. But, see what I mean? They sprinkle in a few phrases here and there, and you get somebody to deliver this, that's supposedly a doctor or a doctor and a religious person, and I guarantee you're gonna have people believe in this. Like I said, if I picked up Chris Angel's tricks, and I was able to do float or pierce myself, but I didn't put the disclaimers up. If you believe enough, you can do this too. What do you think would happen? Is that free speech? Would people think it's free speech when they actually started happening around the country? Kids, other people with cognitive disabilities, which John Fetterman does not have. It's a speech and hearing disability. It has to do with hearing. And the way that speech is processed in the human brain has absolutely nothing to do with intelligence, decision making, cognitive abilities. Nothing to do with it. Links will be down below. This is where Elon Musk is going to take the country. Have a good Tuesday.